In the book Hurt 2.0, the second edition of the book Hurt that came out a few years ago, a comprehensive study of adolescence, when you look at it, you can tell that it's an academic book, and it was originally written as an academic book, and it's appropriate for that. It is highly academic and grounded in the best and latest research methodology. That said, it is also intended to be a book that is accessible and understandable by anybody who cares about the issues facing our children and our young people. When I wrote the book with a team of people helping me, what I ended up wanting to do is to not turn people off by multiple footnotes, but I wanted them to realize that this is not just my opinion. It's grounded in the best scientific research that's out there. It's the best of what other people have written, not only my observations, but it is infused with my observations in a very unique way of going about understanding kids. So for a parent who wants to understand their 10-year-old moving into adolescence, it's maybe a hard read. It's a difficult read, but it's an important read. It's thorough, it's comprehensive, but I guarantee you it's accessible. For you to understand what your 12-year-old daughter is going to be going through as they hit early adolescence, what's happening in the mind of a 15-year-old, whether male or female, as they approach sports. How do kids understand the pressure that all of us as adults put on them? These are the issues that we hit in the book Hurt 2.0. For the youth pastor, this is essential reading, or a volunteer. Even though it feels like, how am I going to read that many pages, that many footnotes? Read the footnotes for support, but read the book to get at the heart of what kids are feeling about sports and performance and sexuality and friendships. And kids at the margins, and what those kids of color feel, or kids of disabilities, or your private Christian school kids or homeschool kids. What are they feeling in comparison to the mainstream kids in a youth ministry program or at the YMCA or Boys and Girls Club? And for those of you that are coaches, there's a chapter on sports, and I'm in conversation now with a whole lot of other folks. This youth sports issue has become a really big deal for us to look at carefully. Not just concussions with kids playing football or the fights on a hockey arena, but what the pressure sports does to kids, and it teaches them that life is about competition and destroying my enemy so I feel better about myself for a day until I prepare for the next opponent that I need to destroy so I can make it through that next week. It's what's really going on with sports. That's probably the hardest thing for people as coaches to read this, to understand what's going on in the psyche of kids. But as coaches, you really have to read this book, especially that chapter, because you are not coaching a sport. You are coaching young men and women who are part of us, and who they are as people is a far more noble cause than what kind of player they are. Yes, the sport's important, and so is school, and so is what happens at home and in church. But bottom line, every single kid is part of us. Every kid is gifted. Every kid is talented, and we have not done them any favors the way that we've given them a society of performance, conformity, and image. Taught them that life is about competition, where all of them know they fail often. So I encourage everybody to read this book. I encourage you to give it to friends. I know it's not easy to give a case of Hurt to your local school, but it would be well worth it for the kids in your community, in your church, in your school, on your team, in your family. Please get the word out. Hurt 2.0 is an important book for all of us.